to the fucking show.
Good evening, everybody. I mean, if that fucking intro don't get you pumped up, I don't know what does. I mean, Jesus. Take your acid and let's go for a ride, folks. A shout out to our guy, super producer Tanner Dawson, for the new intro. We need a new intro for season 2, episode 2, I guess you could say. Nice new layout. You can see Tanner's been hooking it up. We decided to renew his contract, so he was, doing his work around here for once. Man, what to get into? A lot to get into. We got the Stanley Cup Finals. Hopefully, Jim Bears will be joining us in the first hour. As he'll be joining us, we'll talk all the Stanley Cup Finals. Connor McDavid. I mean, Jesus, I'd have got behind this guy a lot more if I had girls flashing their boobies out the whole time. He's got girls dumping them out left and right. I'd have became an Oilers fan a long time ago. So put them out every win. I'm watching, folks. Nonetheless, we also got the NBA Finals to talk about. Hopefully, we'll have Jonathan Grishman on the back end, as well, because we'll talk some more baseball players are gambling, folks, and getting suspended. It looks like, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And his Braves are hurting. I can't say a whole lot because my Cubs absolutely fucking stink. So nonetheless, we'll talk a little football news and what else is happening in the world. But we'll go ahead and we'll bring in the guys, none other than Mr. Yankee. This guy's baseball team is killing it. They got the MVP of the league in my mind in Juan Soto. Give it up for Mr. Yankee fan himself, Johnny Cruz.
What is going on, man? I'm with you on that intro. Shout out to Tanner. That's a badass way to start the show. So it was nice, good shit there by Tanner. Apologies for not being on the camera here, but your boy is laid out with the back. But I'm here. I'm anxious to talk. Hopefully, like you said, Jim joins us and Jonathan. A lot of sports news going on. You didn't even mention the drama that is Caitlin Clark and the WNBA.
Yes.
All kinds of stuff going on. Yeah, we got the Stanley Cup final. 2 teams ready for that. Florida against Edmonton, and then we got the NBA finals starting on Thursday with Boston and Dallas. So that should be fun, man. A lot of good stuff to talk about. And yes, the Yankees are actually playing good baseball right now, but I ain't trying to get too, you know what I'm saying? Like, unfortunately for a Yankee fan, it don't mean shit until October. But they are a lot of fun to watch. And yeah, Juan Soto, he's that dude, man. It's been a lot of fun watching him, and Judge is getting hot right now too. So yeah, the Yankees are fun to watch right now.
Yeah, also we probably with Jonathan too. A little Oklahoma softball team lost for the first time in 24 games in the tournament today to Florida. I watched that. Florida put it on them.
9-3,
Yeah, and there was a couple times where Oklahoma had some bases, ducks on the pond. They just couldn't get it, get that big hit that they've had, and elimination game for tomorrow for Oklahoma. So that's kind of interesting. These girls who've won, they're looking for 4 straight natties, which is incredible. So it's when you see a dynasty like that, it's a shame that we don't kind of get behind it enough. But we'll talk about it with Jonathan as well. I know he sent his girlfriend and I believe her child, her kid, to the game. They went to the game, so we'll obviously talk about that with him as well. So. You mentioned Caitlin Clark, and we'll get into it with the other guys. That's a good jumping off point with Caitlin Clark, because that seems to be all the news today. But we'll go ahead and bring in he's an Indiana Pacer fan, but is he an Indiana Fever fan? Mr. First Down, Sam.
The only fever I have is for more cowbell, gentlemen. We know that. Come on. How we doing, boys?
Good, man. Good.
Excellent. No, I not much of a Fever fan. I'm keeping an eye on it. I've had to read a lot about it today. Like you were talking about, the word being used is Caitlin Clark is being hammered constantly, and there's talk on The Athletic that like how long are we going to let this go on? and stuff like that. And some people
Sam,
were
you were
debating.
supposed to say the athletic like you normally do when you talk about the athletic.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm a little off my game. The athletic. I was so hyped from that intro. I've lost myself.
I did cocaine as we were coming on air, so that's why I'm a little, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I had a pacifier full of substances, and I was just. But anyway, it stinks to see. I hate that people are acting that way. It has made for. Did you guys see Stephen A. Smith and that lady from WNBA?
Yes, Monica McNutt.
Yeah, Monica. Yeah. That's right. I was like, all right, dang, it was in the background at work, and I just slowly turned like, oh, this is going to go differently. But
she would never be on that show again.
Nope.
Unfortunately.
Boy, he was stunned when it happened too. I was like, dang.
Hey,
I hear her point as far as like the point that she made was something that he should have been talking about the WNBA sooner as opposed to just because of now. But that's the thing, and I'm all for physical basketball. Honestly, that's one of the reasons why. I mean, I've talked WNBA on here before with you guys. You said I might probably be the one that's the most into it out of all of us here. To be quite honest, I actually prefer to watch the WNBA sometimes over the NBA because of the physicality in the WNBA. Like those women go at it. But there's a difference between playing physical and then just taking cheap shots on her. So that last hit by the girl from the sky was a bit much. You know what I'm saying? That was an obvious, you know what I'm saying, just assault basically, you know what I'm saying, just hip checking her or whatever. But I'm what my issue is, I mean, it's not Caitlin Clark's fault that she's gotten so much spotlight and that the media and everybody and the WNBA is doing what they should do in promoting her because it is bringing eyeballs and bringing money to the WNBA. That's what I hope that they would understand. I understand, they may, they want to show the rookie, that it's a tougher league or whatever, and they're going to come after her because of all the hype that she's getting. But again, there's a difference between physical hard play and then just cheap shotting her.
Yeah,
you say that, and again, like the WNBA want to try to keep in mind, say you don't want to break the goose's the goose that lays the golden eggs. You may not want to break that goose's leg or hurt her. Hey, seriously, say so. I mean, as much as they may be not happy with the attention she's getting, the bottom line is that she's bringing attention, and that brings money to your league overall. That's the way they should be looking at it business wise.
Yeah, and everybody says, well, it's this draft class. Well, if you get a minute, Pat McAfee broke it down today, and Caitlin is the leader in all of it, and she is, and we all know that, and it is part of the media. It is part of the media's fault. They hype this girl up, and she's performing. Like that's the thing. She's still performing, and she's getting beat up. I say this though: where the fuck are her teammates? Like, where is the enforcers? Where is I said this on my show last night with the Vegas Benchwarmer. I said, where's the teammates? Jordan had, Charles Barkley, Horace Grant, Dennis Rodman to enforce. Where's the Leah Boston at? Where is, where are these bigger, where is the post players to defend her?
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't respect her. I would think that's what it kind of looks like, right? They're just not.
That's worrisome.
I want to bring in Tanner here to get his thoughts on this as well. Give it up for the guy who's been putting this whole thing together, the layouts, the music, our own super producer, Tanner Dawson.
What's up?
Tanner, we're obviously talking about the hot topic that is Caitlin Clark and her just absolutely getting mugged. I said, where's the teammates? And the refs got to realize too, she is the golden goose, like Johnny said, that lays the eggs. And they're not doing they're not protecting her either.
No, they're not. And I'm not following this very closely, of course, like you guys are, but I still see it on the news. I still see it on the highlights, still see it everywhere. And quite frankly, it's a WNBA thing right now. Because obviously everybody's against her. You can see it. You can see it every game. You can see comments already posted. not just Reese, but some other vets in the WNBA. I think it's a WNBA issue right now that there's too much of a spotlight. And I really hope that this thing continues. And then Caitlin Clark goes to the big three or whatever it is that Ice Cube's putting on. And the vets don't have a job anymore. You don't have your flights anymore because there's nobody watching. So I think it's a WNBA issue. I really do. I think it's the league in general and the veteran players that need to realize this is your LeBron, this is your Kobe, this is your MJ, right? This is your star bringing up the game. If you don't like it, go find another. Go start your other league. You know, go be the AEW of WNBA. Go for it.
Right.
So I think it's the WNBA.
And I said that too. Like Johnny, where are the teammates at? Like who? Nobody's sticking up for her on her own team.
Yeah, that's a bit of a worrisome thing there that none of her teammates seem to like kind of back her up. Now you mentioned Aaliyah Boston. She was the number 1 pick last year, and again, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be physical play. Again, that's one thing I like about the WNBA is that they are a more physical league. And I can remember Aaliyah Boston when she was a rookie last year. She caught a nasty elbow from a player, last season. So they're going to do that to the rookies. They're going to be physical. Angel Reese got basically slammed down by her neck, in a couple games ago. So it's happening to all the rookies. That's something that they do. But again, there's difference between physical play in the mix of something and then just, blatantly just taking a cheap shot on her, which is something that they need to watch. But for all the people that are saying, "Oh, she's being treated like everybody else," you can't say that because they don't guard anybody, the entire court. When she's being played a lot more physically by defenders, like they are staying on her a lot more than they would any other guard. So, and again, she's been propped up. We were on here talking about, people were asking, is she the greatest women's basketball player ever? So, of course, when a player is getting that much hype, the league is going to be like, all right, well, we'll show you. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, don't take it so far to where, you can possibly hurt the person that's bringing all the attention to your league. Because, again,
and then hurt her so much to where maybe she doesn't.
Right.
She doesn't.
Maybe she doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Right. Or like
eligible to play.
Like, see how much viewership and how much revenue this league is gonna get if she does get hurt and has to miss the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Or like Tanner says, in a year or two, if she's like, F this, I'm gonna go play in Europe for a few $1 million and not have to deal with this, or the big three, like Tanner was saying. You know what I'm saying? So you may yes, you want to show the rookie that it's a different league or whatever, but at the same time, you don't want to go out your way to try to hurt the girl. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it seems like they're doing. And the fact that she doesn't have protection from her own teammates or the refs, again, maybe not so much the refs because don't let her get like destroyed. Like that should have been
calling shit on her all the time too. Like you know what I mean?
Now to be fair, she talks hella trash. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. But that's what basketball is. Basketball is a physical. You talk shit when you're on the court. We obviously didn't get to that type of level, but when you play pickup games, like you're talking shit, you're banging there. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. That's what basketball is. But again, to just take a cheap shot on her, like that's where it's a bit too much. The other thing is like a lot of players were like, "Oh, she's not getting, she's not it's the whole draft class." Like you mentioned, Pat, that was great. I watched it as soon as I got home. That clip where he showed that yes, it is a good draft class that came in as far as the talent, but don't act like all these perks and all this attention ain't because of Caitlin Clark, because it absolutely is. They weren't getting, these charter flights before
the viewership,
or the viewership, right, or all the money. You say, but I'm with Tanner though. You got to put some of the blame on the WNBA. Like, how the hell do you have them playing 11 games in 20 days? You know what I'm saying? Like they don't normally play that often. You know what I'm saying? But they wanted to show her so much that they have her playing,
right?
Yeah, they have her playing. Yeah, I think her team has played the most games than anybody else.
They have.
So
Everybody else, if you look at everybody else's records, they're like 3-4 games more than everybody else. It seems like.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, and I get the WNBA wanting to milk it and make as much money as possible. But at the same time, like you're putting more of a target on this girl by doing that. But like I said, hopefully they realize that while you do want to break her in and show her that this is a harder league, you know what I'm saying? You got to understand that she's bringing money to your league. She's bringing attention to your league. So, you know what I'm saying? Get past this and, like, you know, embrace it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there are a lot of good players out there, you know what I'm saying, that are coming into this league, but you can't act like she ain't, you know what I'm saying, the reason why there's been a spike in you know what I'm saying, in the attention that the league is getting.
And she's also played, like what I said, I've said this before, it's happened so fast, right? She went from a deep Final Four run straight to the draft, straight to the games, damn near. Like her body hasn't had a whole lot of time to recover. I've said this before. She does need to put on some muscle and gain some weight.
And she will.
And I never thought about this. I follow this. He's on Barstool, and I can't think of his name, but he's like the WNBA, and I know this doesn't have nothing to do with Caitlin Clark, or maybe it does, but he's like the WNBA is the only league in professional like sports in America where two girls who have dated and then they break up, and then there's all these flares and tempers that are open relationships that they're going at each other. That they broke up, or they're I can't. It's Jack Mack on. He's part of Barstool, but I was like, holy shit! I never thought about that. All these girls date each other, and then break up, and then there's beefs in between. So there's already. That's why the league's so damn physical. They all hate each other because they're all sleeping with one another or dating on each other's exes.
That's a great comment.
Yeah,
it really is.
What movie is that?
I was like,
sorry.
Where'd you find it?
Yeah.
Was it in the back of the video store?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she obviously needs to get stronger, and she will get stronger and stuff like that. But
again, that was my gripe a couple weeks ago when we talked about the WNBA. It started right after the draft.
Right.
These rookies don't have any time to adjust. The rookies don't have any time to put a little muscle on and get ready for the league.
Or even time
they have
with your
practice.
Teammates.
Yeah, they haven't even like really practiced all that much. They just started, and then again, they've had the fever playing so many games to start the season. Like, and that's a really, really young team, and there's a reason why they had the number 1 overall pick is because they suck.
2 times.
You know what I'm saying? Right, 2 years in a row. So I mean, it's Caitlin Clark, it's Aaliyah Boston, and then it's some other players. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to take them some time. But I'm with you, Nick, as far as the fact that like nobody seems to have her back, like is worrisome as far as like how they feel about her. You know what I'm saying? Because if your teammates ain't feeling you, that may be a deeper problem. But we'll see what happens.
And maybe they're jealous too. And I
they are. They're jealous.
I mean,
they've been working so hard, and then here comes this hot shot, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and again, to be fair, like I said, it's like that with every league as far as how they treat their rookies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you could be jealous of the attention that she's getting you. But at the same time, you got to be smart enough to realize that this is an opportunity for this league to finally be able to get the attention that they normally wouldn't get. So you don't want the look when they finally are watching you because she has so many nationally televised games that all people are going to see is you beating on this girl. You know what I'm saying? Because then people ain't going to want to watch it. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully they get past that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens, but
we'll see what happens. We'll switch subjects. The other big news today, obviously, Justin Jefferson. I mean, he got multiple Brinks trucks headed to his house right now. It becomes 4-year deal. What was 170 million guaranteed?
140.
I got it right here. 140 million guaranteed. That includes 110 million guaranteed.
Yep.
Wow.
Becomes the highest paid football player ever, not a quarterback.
The market,
mean-
man. The market is crazy. It's
So
just-
CD
He wanted to
what's
be the
CD
highest.
gonna get?
They can't. Dallas can't get. They can't make CD the highest paid player, right? Like that's not.
Yeah.
CD's not going to top that.
Here's the team.
I mean, Minnesota can get away with that because they're not playing anything for their rookie quarterback.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's why they can get away with that. But I'm just glad that, you know what I'm saying, not that Waddle is where Justin Jefferson is, but I'm glad the Dolphins took care of his contract before this shit.
I'm
that
glad
is
the
some
Titans
insane
paid
numbers.
Calvin Ridley before it got that.
Right.
You
But
know,
it's, you know what I'm saying, that's an insane
Really
amount of
isn't
money.
that- He ain't up there, Sam. He would have not even sniffed that amount.
Nah.
What?
But no, I don't
it's
think
all
I don't
about
think
the Jefferson.
CD. Yeah, I don't think CD is gonna get that.
No,
I don't
is
think
Tyreek on
Chase.
the phone, Johnny, right now to his agent? Is
Oh,
Tyreek on the
no
phone
doubt.
to his agent?
No doubt. He was probably on the phone
there was
before,
talks about
before this, before as soon as the season ended. I'm sure he had Drew calling them up to see what's up.
He
You know what
wanted
I'm saying?
like
But-
$3 more million a year now or
Yeah.
something like that.
right, and I'm sure
He got
that
more
they'll-
child
they'll
support he
fi-
got to pay. Had 8 more kids.
He's still broke.
hopefully they'll just because they just restructured his deal last year. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully they do something to where they just give him a big fat check and hopefully he'll stay quiet, you know what I'm saying, for this season or whatever. But it's something that they're gonna have to deal with, unfortunately, every year if he's gonna want to be paid top, which I mean, and I said it earlier today, you know, he's probably the most dynamic weapon in the NFL, but he's not the best all-around wide receiver. That you got to give it to Justin Jefferson or whatever, and even Jamar Chase might be up there as well too. But
That's what,
I mean, Tyreek
Yeah,
Hill
that's
is
my next
still the
question
best player
is-
on the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? There's no doubt about that. He's their best player.
what's Chase's deal going to look like? Obviously, they paid Joey Burrow, but Tanner, before you got to answer
Didn't
that question, let me
Chase
ask
already
you,
get paid?
huh?
I thought Chase already got paid.
No.
He's still on his rookie deal.
Yeah,
We're waiting on
And-
Chase and CD, is what it
yeah.
says.
Chase and CD are
Yeah.
next. Yeah.
Our next, Tanner, you said in the group chat today that you were surprised it was only a 4-year deal.
Yeah.
I was. I mean, you're paying this much money, made them the highest paid player that wasn't a quarterback, and you only got 4 years out of this. Like that's just wild to me. It's just wild. Like it
It's
should be
different.
like lock him up for 5 or 6 for this kind of run. You
It's a
know, go that
different-
baseball route.
How old is he?
25.
Jefferson. So I mean, 5-year gets him to 30. I think the 5-year I probably would have done 5 if he's 25 right now. And then you don't want him no more after that. I mean,
So-
Hey,
like,
this brings
occasionally
the,
you don't want to pay.
This breaks the Vikings curse, though, that they don't re-sign people or give them big contracts and stuff. So that was just something I was reading.
Well, I mean, they gave Randy
ain't
Moss.
curse.
They gave Randy Moss his money too when it was time to
Right.
pay Randy Moss. But
I think
I think
I
They
think
paid
that-
Harrison as well, the safety.
yeah,
So,
I think it
no, I
coincides
think they're talking
again
about wide receiver wise.
Oh,
It's just
with-
Randy.
with
it's
their
like
you
Randy-
got to have
quarterback.
talent to be able to resign him, to sign him
'Cause-
an extension.
But I think it also coincides with the rookie quarterback because you're not gonna if he's good, you're not gonna have to pay him until the 4th year. So right then you'll
Yeah,
have to
tell
figure
Jefferson's done.
Right.
Really, his
Yeah, you'll
contract
have
will be
to-
done.
right. So then you'll have to figure out how much you're gonna have to give Jefferson, or if this kid is is it JJ that's up there. Yeah, if he's good enough to give him a big time quarterback deal or whatever. But it's a lot of money now. I want to say his what he's gonna make with the signing bonus and his base this year. I want to say is like $70 million.
So,
Ed's flinging fire in the chat.
so
Wow.
his
Yeah,
cap hit.
Ed came back with a vengeance, man.
Yeah.
Welcome
Woo!
back.
He did. He's back. So, yeah,
Well,
I said the
that's
same
it.
thing. JJ McSucky, I'm right there. So his cap hit this year is $8 million. Next year it's
Not bad.
15. Then it jumps
That's right,
to
yep.
39.43, and then you have a potential out in 2028 for that $8 million in dead cap. Only $8 million, or just less than $8 million in dead cap.
Wow.
7 mil, 7,387. So
Yeah.
then 2028 he'd make 47 million. That's your cap hit. That's your cap hit in 2028 if you don't get him out. So
right. If you don't get him out or if you don't re-sign him, basically.
But in 5 years, who knows what the cap's going to be?
Right.
know, years, the
And,
cap.
and again, I think it's all going to depend on whether or not, you know what I'm saying, the quarterback winds up being somebody. You know what I'm saying? If he's good, then they'll have to figure it out. If he's not any good and they're going to have to draft another quarterback, then maybe they just take the out and just start it all over.
Well, if they ain't good, then he's going to ask to be out because he's playing on a bad team.
Yeah.
I see. So the 4 years that he signed doesn't start till next year.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an extension.
It's an extension, 4-year extension.
So he'll be 26 when this thing starts.
Okay.
And that's why he goes to 28.
Yeah, so he'll be 30 when the year ends. He'll be 30.
Right.
He'll be
30 on
when
the 29 void end. So
Makes sense.
So that's crazy money, bro.
The money.
But I mean, if you're being friendly like that, that's at least 2 years. That at least next year they can try to build something around him. And if that all fails, then you got great talent to sell tickets. So, hopefully you get a quarterback sometime soon and go from there.
he said, hopefully you get a quarterback sometime soon, like they didn't just draft one 2 days ago.
We just lost all the Minnesota Vikings.
Jordan Love might escape this season by me. So just saying, he might escape any batch in this year because there's a guy in Minnesota who's
good.
It's all going to JJ.
It's all going to JJ.
Man,
watch me run the ball.
Man, you guys are vicious towards JJ.
I'm not a fan.
I can tell. I see. Oh, he kind of looks like the Joker to me. I'm just saying.
It'll be interesting to see how he does. I mean, he's got the best wide receiver right in the game, so they don't have. Is Madison still their running back? They don't have a running back. Oh no,
Aaron Jones, AJ.
Yeah, they got Aaron your boy,
Jones. Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler.
Aaron Jones.
Well, they got that other young wide receiver too, right? That they just drafted last year.
Well, they got
Gordon Addison.
Addison, right?
Addison there. Yeah. They got
I mean, so they got a few pieces there.
Hawk coming from an ACL injury.
Really, all you got to do is tell McCarthy just talk it up like he did at Michigan. You got talent around him.
Yeah,
that's right. Makes sense to me.
But you got to wait for Hawk. Hawk may not play till like week 5 or something like that. So you have to figure something out there.
He's coming off the ACL injury.
ACL, yeah.
Yeah,
Chase really didn't get a.
Goodness gracious!
God dang! I thought he got signed for some reason.
Nope.
Now, do you think Chase is going to ask? Do you think Chase is going to ask for $1 more than Justin Jefferson?
50 cents.
Yeah, but
they won't be able to
be able to do it.
They can't do it though.
Right.
How much cap?
Because they're already.
I'll tell you what.
They're already paying Joey Burrow.
Right. Cap space is $23 million this year. $23.5 million.
Right, and they just tagged T. Higgins too. So
you're not going to sign T.
Right, but I mean, if he signs a franchise tag, it's like 20-something million too.
Yeah, but you're not going to sign T. Like T's just a guy to get you by this year, and then you let him go somewhere. So
right, but I'm just saying his cap hit on that franchise tag is probably 20-something too.
Yeah,
I'd trade him.
So Orlando Brown Jr. is a watch.
I'd trade T.
Well, it's possible, guys. It is possible for them to sign Chase, but they got to move Orlando Brown Jr. You drafted the tackle in the draft early, so you got to move off from his contract. He's just short of $22 million next year in the cap hit. If you move him out on top of what you have space for, that gives you tons of cap space there going into 2026. So, or 2020.
Do you want a rookie protecting Joe Burrow coming off of an injury, bro?
It's better than what you got right now. It's better than what you got right now. Go look at Orlando Brown Jr. and see the guys that get past him and what happens to the quarterback. Mahomes' ankle injury in the playoffs 2 years ago. Joe Burrow being out for the season last year. There's some common themes with this here in the left tackle. Yeah, he's a big guy. He can move, but he is not a great left tackle for you. And it's not worth the money.
Jeez.
Just saying, 2 quarterbacks, He blocked for 2 quarterbacks, and one of them almost went out for the year. One did.
Tanner holds a grudge, baby. I tell you what. I hope
Joe
I
Burrow
don't.
might have been on my fantasy team as well, so that's why I might know about this. So,
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, listen.
They can't pay Chase what Jefferson got. Like, he's going to have to take less. I'd trade T. Higgins today.
Honestly, he can get Chase or he can get Jefferson money, but he has to up his years. It has to be spread out more in his years. If he can get that 5-6 year range with right around that, I think it's possible. But
if I'm Chase, I'm just hitching my wagon to Joey B. However long Joey B's there, that's however long my contract's going to be.
How much can you pay me? And then how much can you pay me that night?
I mean, it would be an extension as well, so it wouldn't kick in until after this season as well. So I mean, they could try to make it work. But yeah, that's gonna be crazy. But I mean, he's a top dude. You know what I'm saying? He's worth the money too. But I think they got it. I think they get rid of Higgins, man, before they get rid of that tackle.
They do have a club option next year. So club option next year is 21.8. So you're making 9.8 this year. You can making 21.8 next year. So you do the club 2026. Your wallet opens up 228,000 or 228 million in cap space in 2026 currently. And let's say you get rid of Brown next year, wash your hands from there. That's an extra 22 mil that you can add to your payroll. I think that's possible. I really do. I think you can get him at the right time, start his contract at 26, let him go for 4 or 5 years and be just fine.
Yeah. They'll find a way to make it work, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Be a very bad thing if, like, for that fan base if he doesn't return.
Oh, I'll laugh, dude. Thanks,
So,
Ed.
I still got Joey B.
Well, Ed, like, look, he comes out. Listen, Ed, he comes in here and he's all feisty and stuff. It just rubs us the wrong way, you know. So.
I'm like the Caitlin Clark of the group, you know, Ed. It's just what it is.
hey, Bodkins, go hit Tanner. Hammer him. Give him a basketball play.
I would come to I would come to his defense if he was when he's on my team. Speaking of being on our team, I'm a little actually upset with this guy because if he would have told me that Connor McDavid was getting girls to dump him out, I'd have became a hockey fan a long time ago. One of the many bombs he didn't drop was that Bodkins girls are dumping him out at hockey games. I probably would have tuned in and watched every hockey game that Connor McDavid and the Oilers were playing if I knew girls were dumping him out. Give it up for Mr. Hockey Aficionado, Mr. Biringer Bomb himself, Jim Biringer, baby.
Yeah.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, dude?
Howdy.
What's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes the girls just like to throw them out.
It was obviously pretty cold there.
I mean, not arena, it wasn't.
Jim, is this the before we really get into the but is this where the world's going to realize Connor McDavid's the best hockey player on the planet?
I think we mostly know Connor McDavid's the best hockey player on the planet. I mean, it's going to be a national stage and it's going to define his legacy, but this is where, you're going to see the world's best. I mean, you should have been seeing him already if you watched the Stanley Cup playoffs. I mean, the goal in Game 6. I mean, he literally just put this team on his back and propelled them into the Stanley Cup final. Now, granted, they're going to need more than 10 shots to win a hockey game against the Florida Panthers. That's not going to happen. If you think you're going to play like that against Florida, no thanks. But, I mean, look, Connor McDavid's the best player in the world. I think he's finally healthy. I think he's showing what he can do. And you know what? This is for his legacy, right? Gretzky did it. Messier did it. Guys that have worn the Edmonton Oilers sweater before him have done it, obviously minus 06. But, they expect to win Stanley Cups in Edmonton when you have the best players in the world. And this team's playing defense and they're all buying in. So the fact is, I think, you got to give a lot of credit to John Tortorella when he's on ESPN. He's like, I think if you can get Connor McDavid to buy into playing some defense and change his game just a little bit, not take away his offense, but he's starting to play some D, and you could see that the Oilers, it's paying off for the Edmonton Oilers.
They're not allowed to play the Panthers. Are the Panthers favored in this series?
Yes, Panthers are favorite. I got the lines today. I saw them early lines. Saw the Panthers minus 125 to win the Stanley Cup. It would be their first in franchise history. The Oilers are looking for their sixth in franchise history. Obviously, they have not won since 1990. It's been a long time. So it's definitely been it. Look, no team has won this is be a first because neither team. Florida hasn't won the Stanley Cup. The Oilers haven't won a cup this century. So it's going to be a very highly entertaining Stanley Cup final. Look, I think a lot of people favor the Panthers, and why not? Look what they did to some of the best players in the world getting to this point. You shut down Kucherov, you shut down Pasternak, Panarin, Kreider, Zibanejad. I mean, look, if they can stop McDavid and Draisaitl, you have a good chance of winning. That's been the MO for a lot of teams over the years. The problem is the Panthers better stay out of the penalty box because the Oilers have the best power play. And even if the Oilers take penalties, they have the best penalty kill. And if Stuart Skinner is going to play like he did in Game 6, well, this could go either way. Look, they weren't favored against the Dallas Stars and found out a way to win 3 straight hockey games against a very good team. Now, caveat, they haven't seen the hitting that the Florida Panthers have gone through in the first 3 rounds of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Expected, the Vancouver series was a little nasty. LA wasn't really that nasty. This is going to be the level's about to go up for the Edmonton Oilers, so it's going to be interesting to see.
This feels very.
Sorry, Tanner.
This feels very much like the NBA Finals going on right now. You have an all-star, superstar caliber player on one side, not being the favorite. Kind of not even really 1 or 2 overall seed, right, in their division, and then on the other side, you pretty much got the first overall seed, best team out there, and both teams, so the Celtics and the Panthers, beat their opponent sweep through the season. So it's just feels very familiar to both sides of there. All-star players as being underdogs. So
the problem is the NBA is about 2-3 players. The National Hockey League is about a team sport. Right. Both teams are playing defense right now. And look, I can't really regular season. Yeah, look, they played twice. The Oilers, they played twice in the regular season. I don't look at regular season statistics and records that much because you could throw them out the window come the Stanley Cup playoffs. They really don't mean anything, especially a Western and Eastern Conference team. You see them so little, and I think early on, this is when the Panthers saw the Oilers really struggle. Look, you got to give credit to what Chris Knobloch has done, right? At the Hockey Hall of Fame weekend, they fire Jay Woodcroft, they bring in Chris Knobloch, they change their defensive scheme, they get the players to buy in, and you're getting good goaltending, and Chris Knobloch's been able to push the right buttons. Look, they had last series, he makes the goalie switch, then he goes back to Stuart Skinner. This series, he brings in Perry, McLeod. He makes some switches along the way with Henrique. You bring in, Philip Broberg in for Desharnais. The moves that Chris Knobloch has made has allowed this team to be successful. Everybody's buying in. I mean, you look at it the other night in Game 5 with Dallas, right? Edmonton, they're up 3-0. Draisaitl, McDavid. Draisaitl usually goes and tries to score. Nope, chips it in the corner. Okay, we're just going to try to play defense here and win games. Look, Florida won the Atlantic Division. They expect to be here. Both teams have a different mindset coming to the Stanley Cup final this year. But it's a team, I think, realistically, like I said before, if the Edmonton Oilers get a 2-0 lead, they just cannot sit back against the Florida Panthers because the Florida Panthers do not care. They will just come at you, as you saw against the Rangers in the Eastern Conference final, as you saw in the previous rounds against Boston. They don't care if they're trailing. They're just going to continue to bring the heat, the shots. They're playing their smothering style. They're going to hit you, bang you. And Stuart Skinner's got to come up with the goods because we know Sergei Bobrovsky's going to. And look, I think that the Edmonton Oilers, I think a lot of people are gonna underestimate this team because of what, everything, you look at the last series with Dallas, right? A lot of people underestimated what Edmonton was going to bring to the table, the depth of their team. Dallas has more depth. The Edmonton depth was able to keep up with it. I want to see that matchup against the Florida Panthers because those third and fourth lines are going to matter. And if you can keep Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl off the board, that's how you beat them. But again, it feels different with the Edmonton Oilers this year.
I was going to ask about the matchup of Edmonton's offense against is this the toughest or the best defense and goaltending combination that Edmonton's playing with this Florida Panthers?
Number one, goals against.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is the best. I think this is the best they've seen, defense and goaltending wise. I really do. I think this is the best they've seen all year. And not all year, but all playoffs. I really do truly believe that.
All right, I got a betting question here. So over under, it's 5.5 right now. With being the best defensive team and the other side being, such shooters at this, is this 5.5? Do you think we got an over chance on this, or do you think it stays
in the game one?
In game one, does it stay comfortable like a 3-2 ball or a 3-2 ball game?
Oh God,
man, the way these teams play defense,
I'm gonna say I would go under, and I don't nowhere near.
I would go under just because of the feeling out process. Guys have a week off. I think that first period, I think there's gonna be a feeling out process.
Okay.
That's a lot of goals for these.
I thought 5.5 was a lot considering you got the best.
That is a lot. That is high
already there. Like I would expect to give me a 4.5. I think I would have been fine with that, but 5.5, that just seems wild. So,
yeah, I mean, 5.5 seems pretty high to me, but I would, I would go under here.
All right, I got to know, how much of a disappointment is it for the New York Rangers fans?
Oh, huge disappointment. Huge disappointment. I mean, this is, look, they ran into a better team than, look, Florida was a better team. Their top stars didn't deliver, as always. You gotta really look at it one way. Yes, Barclay Goodrow, Alexis Lafreniere, all these guys played well, but your power play went 1 for 15 in the series. It was 2 for 25 going back to midway point of Carolina series. Not to mention Igor Shesterkin's doing everything but score goals for this team. Florida just beat you up. The Rangers just couldn't physically match what the Panthers were doing. They didn't care. They did not care how they played, where they played. Look, this Panthers team went into Tampa, Boston, New York, on the road. It doesn't matter. But here's the thing. The Rangers, yes, the President's Trophy, all that matters. Yeah, this curse, whatever. The top players didn't deliver for the New York Rangers, and they just got to find a way to get a little grittier, understand that they got to play defense, and you know what? That's how you're going to win in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Sounds
fair. It looked like the Panthers were so physical that by the third period, I mean, that's when they basically took over the game. The Rangers just couldn't deal with all the physicality that Florida was bringing them. But I'm just excited to be able to see Connor McDavid in a Stanley Cup final so that the world could actually see him and stuff. So he'll hopefully get the attention that he should get. So it's going to be interesting. And then going up against a good defense and a good goaltender like this is what it's all about. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I mean, the old adage is good defense beats good offense any day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, the way the Oilers are splitting up Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl and the balance of the lines, and Corey Perry's been there. This is his 4th trip in 5 years with 4 different teams to the Stanley Cup final, which is ridiculous. The thing. But Dallas in the bubble. Then he played with Montreal in the quasi bubble. Then he went to Tampa. Didn't make it last year. And then now he's back with the Edmonton Oilers. So, and it's crazy. He started the year in Chicago, and now he's with the Oilers. And I like what they're doing. Their balanced lineup. But again, and don't forget the little mini rivalry inside this. Don't forget Sam Bennett and Matthew Tkachuk were on the Calgary Flames and the Battle of Alberta, right? But I think they've learned from that series when Edmonton kind of beat them up too, right? again, it's going to come down to goaltending, special teams. Every series does. And, you know, you look at it, right? And you say to yourself, if Stuart Skinner can just be above average, it just be good, the
Right.
Edmonton Oilers have a legit shot to win the Stanley Cup. And look, I think a lot of people are going to write them off. I think a lot of people are thinking that the Florida Panthers are going to win their first Stanley Cup. And me personally, I think that's going to happen too. But I would love to see Canada's drought end. I really would. Oh, by the way, fun fact. So a couple things. The Edmonton Oilers are the first Canadian team to win the Clarence Campbell Bowl, the Western Conference Trophy, since the 2021 Montreal Canadiens. Everybody forgets the Montreal Canadiens won the Clarence Campbell Bowl because of how the bubble was set up that year. And they're the first, you know, obviously they're trying to win their first Stanley Cup since 1990, the first Canadian team to win a Stanley Cup since 1993. There's a lot of intriguing storylines in this. You know, there really is. I am so excited for the Stanley Cup final. I cannot wait to be in Florida for games 1 and 2. I really can't.
So awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, I really cannot wait to be in
We're gonna be boots
the
on the ground.
Yes, boots on the ground. If it wasn't 4,000 miles away and somebody was paying for my flight, I would go to Edmonton too, but that is not happening.
Can't blame you on that one.
Would it elevate
True that.
Connor McDavid even more if he's like the man in this series against this Florida defense in the goaltending?
100%. 100%. I think because I saw the odds. I think he's plus 200 to win the Conn Smythe Trophy because he leads the NHL in points, the Stanley Cup playoff. There were times, and me personally, I looked at it. Oh yeah, he's leading the Oilers. He's leading the NHL. He's leading the Stanley Cup playoffs in points. But you look at it and you say, has he been noticeable? Because he definitely was playing through injury. And in that Vancouver series, Evan Bouchard stepped up. Leon Draisaitl stepped up. But if he does what he did in the last couple of games of that Dallas series in the Western Conference Final, it's his Conn Smythe Trophy to lose. Like, I really do believe if he elevates his game, which it's already elevated. He's the best player in the world. But if he puts the Oilers on his back and puts another highlight reel goal like we saw Sunday night, forget it. It's his Conn Smythe Trophy to lose. I really do believe that he would win the MVP of the Stanley Cup playoffs. But again, you play 7 games, 7 games, you don't know what's going to happen. I do not foresee this series going any shorter than 6 games. I really don't. I don't think the Edmonton Oilers have been able to adjust when they've been down in series. I just think I would not like seeing this ending in 5. I really wouldn't.
I'm hoping for at least 6.
I'm hoping at least 6. I would love to see 7. But let me tell you something. That 7, the fact that it would go 7 games and it would be the 24th of June, and then the fact that then you got to fly out to Vegas for the draft a couple of days later, that's a tight schedule on how they did everything this year.
That's insane. It's like we were just talking about in the WNBA season.
Yeah, right.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And another thing that's ridiculous is these superstitions, right? Look. I am all for hockey superstitions. Trust me, I am. I'm all for hockey superstitions because I have my own when I play and things I did when I was watching the Devils win Stanley Cups. It don't mean jack squat, diddly do, whether you touch the Prince of Wales trophy or you touch the Clarence Campbell Bowl trophy.
Saw that.
The best team's going to win the Stanley Cup. One team's winning the Stanley Cup regardless if you touch the trophy or you don't touch the trophy. So both teams didn't touch the trophy. Okay, so what happens the next time? I look at it this way. I said, the Devils, right? Wayne Gretzky said it last night. Hey, we touch the trophy every time. They lost to the Islanders in 83. They touched it the next year. They won 4 cups. I think they did it again in 1990. So, it doesn't matter, right? The Devils went 3-1 when they touched the Prince of Wales trophy. The one year they decide not to touch it, they lose. I mean, does it really matter? It doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter to me whether you touch that trophy or not. I think it's a stupid superstition in the National Hockey League. I know that's not the trophy you play for, but it's an achievement to win the Eastern or Western Conference. It really is, because it's a grind.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. But yeah, I saw that tweet from you. You were talking about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Just kind of made me laugh. I was like, man, I didn't even think about that being a thing. So
I mean, I don't know when it started to be like the thing that, like, oh, we don't have to touch it, this, that, and other thing. I'm like, does it really matter? The best team's gonna win the Stanley Cup.
Oh, there we go. We got a question here from Ed.
Yeah, Ed wants to know why he shouldn't just burn every piece of memorabilia that he has about the Blue Jackets.
Blue Jackets will be a good team. Don Waddell's come in there as the new general manager. He's going to shake some things up. I think Verzlikins is on the trade block. We'll see if they need to keep him. They got to see what they want to do with Patrick Laine. Boone Jenner seems to be excited to be there. I think they're going to bring in some free agents. Don Waddell's message to everybody was, we got to get this team to be a winning franchise again. And I think that's the right attitude you need to have.
Jim, before we get you up out of here, I got to ask some wrestling.
Yeah, go for it.
Real quick. Thoughts on double or not double? What? Yeah, double or nothing.
Double or nothing.
Double or nothing. Obviously got a return of MJF last weekend. Thoughts on that?
I thought it was a good show. I watched it over 2 nights because I had the Stanley Cup playoffs on. So I was really I've been really focused on the hockey recently, especially over Memorial Day weekend. There's just so much on. But I love the fact that MJF is back. He'll be back this week on Dynamite. I like the way they did everything. He's not going anywhere, as he said. Great tattoo that he put on himself. Bet on yourself. He's right. I thought the match quality on the pay-per-view was great. Again, we can talk. You and I have always talked about this on the show. The build may not be the greatest to these matches, especially on Dynamite and all this stuff. But when it comes to the pay-per-views, the match quality is always high. I was surprised Will Ospreay didn't die on that move early on in the pay-per-view, but that was good. Swerve's matches were great. Anarchy in the Arena was awesome. I thought, they continued to deliver with their pay-per-views. They just have to work on the small details on how they get there, right? It sucks that Adam Copeland broke his leg because he decided that maybe it wasn't a good idea to jump off the top of the cage. I don't know what he was thinking there. Somebody probably should have been like, dude, what are you doing?
Adam, you're 50 years old. Like, there's no need to do this right now.
Yeah, there's no need to do this right now. Last week I thought on Dynamite, this casino gauntlet match, I think is cool, but are we really doing Swerve and Will right away? And also, not for nothing.
Forbidden Door too, which doesn't make any sense, right? Because isn't
exactly.
Forbidden Door?
Yeah, exactly. Because the last couple of years, a guy from New Japan came in, challenged for the title, vice versa. I would like to see Ospreay to be defending the international title at that event, and save that match for Wembley.
Yeah, agreed. I'm okay with that too. And I don't know. They're very high on Ospreay as well. They should be. I think he's the best wrestler in the world, but I don't want to see Swerve's. I'm interested in how they're going to do it because I don't think Swerve's title reign should end. So it'll be interesting.
No, I don't think so. I personally think I think, and I don't like to see Ospreay lose, but I think he'll lose, and then they'll somehow set up a. But when's this Owen Hart Cup tournament starting? Because the winner of that gets a shot at the title at All In. So that kind of doesn't make sense if he's in that too.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. And then how about the rib of AJ Styles? The throwback to Mark Henry.
That was great. That was really good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that. That was really good. I like the fact that he just turned on Cody, setting up another match. Those guys put on a great match at Backlash. I thought the Logan Paul match with Cody at King of the Ring was really good too. I thought that was an excellent show. I mean, it's basic, but it was excellent. And basic is good sometimes. But I like the fact how they kept AJ Styles going. And maybe now we can get that AJ Styles when he first came into the company with the Bullet Club, the OC guys, because I think that's something that they could work on.
I agree. And last question, wrestling question. There's a lot of people who are shitting on Cody Rhodes' title reign here. What's your thoughts? My thought is it's not really his fault. It's the kind of the company didn't do any favors. There is no heels job of building up any heels to present against him.
Okay, so this I think I talked about this a year ago on the show. Maybe I've talked about it as well along the way. We've discussed this. Go back to 1998 when Stone Cold Steve Austin won the WWF Championship at the time. Who was his first opponent? It was Mick Foley as Dude Love. Like that really didn't spark anything. Look, I think the AJ Styles match with Cody Rhodes has been fine. I think that feud's going to be great. I think the feud he had with Logan Paul, I have no issue with what they're doing with Cody. The problem is it's getting lost because of what CM Punk and Drew McIntyre and all that stuff that's going on. He's getting lost in the shuffle because of the other programs are ahead of him. But that's okay because we know what's coming back around.
Gotcha.
They'll change their mind once The Rock and Roman come back and they figure
exactly. They figure that out and everything. But I think it's been fine. I don't think he's been an issue.
That's me too.
And Cody's the face of the company.
Yeah, agreed.
Hey, Alan had a question. Do we get NXT versus TNA Worlds Collide?
I would love to see that. That'd be great. And I wouldn't rule out down the road. I think it could happen. I don't know if it will. But even Swerve kind of said it. Maybe AEW, WWE crossover events? Never know.
Oh.
Now that Vince is gone. Anything's possible.
Anything is possible. The fact that the Forbidden Door's been open for TNA people to come through I think that's really cool to see. I hope AJ Styles goes to one of their events because he was Mr. TNA.
Agreed.
He's not officially signed in NXT. He said it. He's not officially signed with NXT.
That's wild.
We'll see what happens. Jim, I heard you say you're picking the Panthers. Is that correct?
My gut tells me the Panthers are going to win. My heart wants the Oilers to win because a part of me likes Canada, and I want to see a Canadian team win the damn Stanley Cup. It's been too long.
Hey, I'm rooting for the Oilers. As long as O'Goral's dumping them out, that's the team I want to win.
Bro, trust me. Hey, Nick, if they were leaking videos like that a long time earlier, I would be telling you about this. This is only like recently. So trust me, I'll let you know.
Please do, Jim. Please do. Hey, that'll get the old eyes on the hockey. We appreciate you joining us and dumping those Biringer bombs. Jim, I think we missed it. You weren't on or we didn't have a show, but you were even dropping NBA news, by God. I mean, Jim Beringer's out here dropping bombs all over, even NBA bombs. So
I know I was dropping a lot of stuff. Yeah, I was dropping a lot of stuff. The Sheldon Keefe news on a Monday night, I was dropping that. Like, I was just dropping bombs everywhere. So, guys, stay tuned for more. They may be coming. Oh, maybe Marty Nature's paid before Saturday. Maybe. Maybe. You never know.
Follow him at Jim Biringer.
Yeah, follow at Jim Biringer. We appreciate you, Jim. Have fun in Florida. Enjoy the hockey.
Yeah, man.
All right, thanks, buddies, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
We'll catch you, dude.
See you, brother.
But
from one guy who drops Biringer bombs to one guy kids up to hit bombs. We've been missing a little baseball in our life. He's now no longer part of Rich Mountain. He's protecting. That was. Now he's protecting I think it's the coast.
He's in the heat.
And then he
followed him. It went from living in Texas and dealing with the heat and humidity. Now he just deals with the heat that's building up there in Cali. So,
now he's going, but and then he's back to Texas. Yeah. He's sending folks to women's college softball World Series. Give it up for our favorite coach, Jonathan Grishman, baby.
Yeah, let's go.
How's it going, guys? How's it going? Missed y'all.
Good. We
What's
miss
going on,
you.
bud?
Is it protect the coast? Is that what we're protecting now? We're protecting the hill. Now we're protecting the coast.
Coast to coast, Coastal Bend College, absolutely. So yeah, we're gonna be defending.
Oh God, Donald Trump's got to love you guys, huh? If you're protecting the coast.
The saying is defend the bend. I'm gonna try to see bend but don't break. I think that should be the next one we should have. Is defend the bend but don't break. Probably again when I'll get out there in August, I'll play around with some more sayings for us as a team when we get there.
Congrats, bro.
Are we in California now? When are we reporting to California?
Friday, my flight flies out Friday night. We have our first meeting with the league and everybody coaches meeting on Monday next week. So I fly out Friday. I enjoy some of the scenery out in California for the weekend. Meeting on Monday, practice Tuesday with the team, my first time with the group, and then right to it, games on Wednesday next week.
Awesome.
Nice.
So, Jonathan, the league that we're playing, that you're going to be you're the manager of this team. So is this college? Is this like A-ball? What kind of league is this? Or like high-end prospects? What kind of league?
No, so it's summer college. So kids from all over the country fly in and play. Want to get some extra reps during the summer, some extra instruction, some working with. I did it when I was in college. I played in Arizona. I played in New York, New Jersey. You just get a chance to kind of see, meet some different coaches, meet some different players, play from different groups of people, and you learn from all the coaches. So myself, I'm a coach for my team, but when we have an instruction day where all the teams are together or we break them up in parts, I'll be an instructor for hitting, for fielding, and we kind of work and we work in tandem with all the coaches for the kids to improve, teach, develop, get them better, and send them off to their school in the fall with a little bit more knowledge of the game. So it's a great thing. This occurs throughout the country. You have leagues out in California. The Cape Cod is one of the biggest ones. It's the most famous one in the country for college summer ball. You have the Alaska League. You have leagues out in Florida, Texas. So you have stuff like this all throughout the country. The kids are just trying to get some extra reps, trying to keep staying fresh. But you're learning as much as you can with some of the best minds in the game that are putting their time in with these teams and with these kids. So it's a great opportunity. Like I said, for me, is to be a head coach and kind of put myself a little bit out there and kind of figure out a little bit more how to be a head coach at the college level with college kids. But at the same time, for me, it's giving back because I had that opportunity 12, 15 years ago with college coaches that I'd go play. Like I said, I played in Arizona, I played in New York, and I had people that were willing to pass along the knowledge to me to help me get better. And it's my turn to do the same thing.
Is this
Nice.
is this just college then, or is it like also international players coming in and playing in the league?
So you have international college kids that are college eligible kids. You have to have college eligibility to play in these college leagues. So we'll have kids, obviously from the United States who are all in college currently, but we actually have kids that play in this league that are college eligible kids from Japan. We'll have kids from China. We'll have kids from the Dominican. We'll have kids from Puerto Rico, Mexico coming up and playing. But as long as they have college eligibility, they're allowed to play in these leagues.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay. Jonathan, it's been a while since we talked to your Braves. Acuna is done for the year. Tore his ACL. How worried are you about your Atlanta Braves who, the Phillies have taken the National League by storm right now?
It's interesting because there's different ways I look about it. If you look at the record, they have the same record at this stage of the season last year in their historical offensive season. The different, in June rolled around and they just caught fire the rest of the summer and they were one of the best teams in baseball. We're at that stage again, record-wise, but the difference from what I'm looking at is there is a little bit of a different feel with this group. There's a little bit more struggle. Again, I've said with you guys, I've said with Alan and Scott, I don't want to compare and contrast 2023 with 2024 because you can't compare historical seasons. That's why they call it historical. It's a historical season. It doesn't happen every year. And no matter how good that lineup is, 2023 was not going to be repeated in 2024. So was there going to be a step back? Absolutely. Is there a step back that's going to happen because of Acuna being out? Absolutely. But we saw this in 2021 where they looked at it and say, okay, we're going to play it out a little bit. We're going to see how things work. We're going to see what do we need to replace Acuna. And then we go and then we see Alex Anthopoulos, who is one of the best GMs in making moves, made the moves that was necessary at that point. It's going to happen again. It's just a matter of the asking price when you get to that point. But you're evaluating right now, and I think the schedule lightening up does help a little bit. You know, the Phillies, they've had one of the easier schedules in baseball the first half of the season right now, and they're taking advantage of it. And they have taken complete advantage by winning like they're supposed to. And I think that's where the difference, where I said the record from 2023 was the same at this point as what it is for 2024 for the Atlanta Braves. The difference is Philadelphia is playing really well. Do they cool down? And if they do, is that when the Braves make their move? Or do they stay hot and the Braves just going to play as a wild card team the rest of the season? That's to be determined. I'm still not concerned right now about my Braves. I think a little bit more time. I'm being a little bit more patient, a little bit more optimistic still, that I think that you have championship caliber players. They will get it figured out and they will have the confidence ready to go and put up numbers like they're supposed to. But time is running out on my patience of being concerned, and that's where I'm at right now with it.
I think it's fair. I think it also helps that the Mets and Marlins are, big fart noises down at the bottom. So that probably helps your confidence a little bit more as you guys figured out what to do. So.
Yeah, and again, that's where you look at it. A team like the Nationals, we're kind of been waiting to see if the Nationals were going to be more competitive, and they are. You got to credit to to Johnson and the staff of the front office of Washington making the moves and being patient with the development process of some of those players, and they're competitive right now. They're pretty competitive. Are they going?
They kept Martinez is still there. I think Rizzo, the GM, still there. Like, they didn't go out and just like we see in other sports, like, hey, we're down, we're going to fire these guys and move on. You know what I mean? Like, they kept
absolutely.
They kept those.
Yeah, absolutely. They understood they were selling and rebuilding, and they understood that was not Martinez's fault. That was just the reality of where you're at. And they said, we will give you time to be with this team, and we will give this team time as well. So I think that's a great point, and that they have allowed the staff to get that time with this group to develop, and we're seeing it right now. So that does make things a little bit more complicated with the Nationals playing good ball. How long will that last to be determined? But they are playing well right now. So, but yes, it does help that the Mets and Marlins are in the same division.
I want to get to some more stuff. Another pitcher or player here, Padres Marcano faces MLB ban. Potential lifetime betting on baseball that he wagered on games involving the Pittsburgh Pirates when he was with that team. We know another player, he used the same guy that Shohei had no idea still, right? But we got to do to kind of crack this down, because now we're seeing relatively close to, I know allegedly found innocent, but we're seeing players now and a guy really close to a player be punished here for gambling.
Yeah, and if I'm Major League Baseball, I'm very concerned right now that you've had this gambling scandal pop up, and now you're starting to dig deeper into what is going on in baseball, that there are more players who are involved in gambling, and now you have one that is gambling on baseball games. That is something that if you're Major League Baseball, as I said with you guys, and I said with Alan and you don't want scandals right now. You, as Major League Baseball, cannot afford to have scandals. Your sport has grown. you have some fans that are on board with all the changes, and it's kind of people like me are just accepting the changes have occurred, and it's okay. Well, there's the pitch clock and bigger bases and stuff like. We're just accepting it at this point. But you're getting bigger. You're getting bigger fan bases coming in now, and the last thing you need is a scandal like this to set you back again. Every time Major League Baseball grows their sport, they have something set them back. Go into the 80s and 90s. You have the 94
1 step forward,
strike.
2 steps.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you had the 94 strike that really hurt the sport moving forward and growing to the popularity that they were supposed to be. Then you had the home run. Then you had your big step forward, the 98 home run chase, and then we have steroids that were coming up. The last thing, especially with Manfred, who's oversaw all this now, his legacy is going to be tied over the next 5 years, because that's when he's retiring in 5 years. How you handle this moving forward and how you handle gambling scandals that are popping up, you're going to have to really solve this problem. And how they do it, that's going to be the biggest question mark moving forward. Aiden, I hate you. But
that's where we like you, Aiden. Coach may hate you, but we like you. We like you.
I hate him because he's an Alabama fan. That's where that's what he's from. Alabama. I don't hate Aiden. I hate that he's an Alabama fan. He just wants to start crap as my Tigers lost tonight. So, but no. Again, the gambling stuff, the gambling scandal, it's very bad. It's getting worse. And I think that's when, as Major League Baseball continues to dig deep, I think you're going to have more. They have 4 minor leaguers that are being investigated currently on this. So how much deeper, if you turn over the rock, how much more is under that rock of the scandal that's going to continue to pop up? And here's the problem too. You allowed it with Shohei, even though they came out immediately and said Shohei was not involved in this gambling. He had, you cannot tell me still to this day that he didn't know what was going on and he didn't have an idea or didn't at least have knowledge of it. You allowed this to move forward, and now you're looking at it. It's a Pandora's box for you, Major League Baseball. So they're going to be very careful how they turn these rocks over and finding out what's going on really behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's not related to the same guy, is it? Because I haven't read the full story yet.
No, this is a different. As of right
this is
now,
all separate incidents, right?
As of right now, this is a separate incident than what you had with the Ohtani translator with David Fletcher. Like, this is a little bit different right now. So that's why I'm saying, like, this is a whole separate issue now. So how much more is there out there with gambling in baseball? And I don't want to tie into this, but this is also why sports leagues did not want to go to Vegas and really open up the gambling opportunities. And again, it's hypocritical because Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NBA, they have sponsorships with casinos, with DraftKings, with FanDuel. You have these. You're making money off of casinos and gambling, and you're now you're telling people, you're not allowed to gamble. You're not allowed to.
Your partnerships, your biggest partnerships are with some of the biggest sports books there is. FanDuel and DraftKings.
Not that there's rules, right? You're not allowed to gamble, but you're not allowed to gamble on premises, first off. Second off, you're not allowed to gamble on baseball, period. No betting on baseball either. Like, you can't gamble with the same sport. It's the same thing with Jameson Williams over there in the Lions. That happened, last year or whatever, where he ended up getting suspended 8 games, 10 games, something like that. It's the same deal, but there's rules. It's not like you can't bet. There's just rules you have to follow, and you're going to get
correct.
And
when you walk into a clubhouse, and I've seen it firsthand myself, you walk into a clubhouse, there's a sign in there, and it goes like Major League Baseball regulations, no gambling on baseball. It's on the wall. As far as you can't miss it. All right, and then when you meet,
it was and I agree with you about Shohei, and it's weird because he's got all that money, but some of these minor league. This kid from the Padres, they're not making much, right? the average contract? You were a minor leaguer, so like as a minor leaguer, what's they're not making a whole lot of money, right? So
minor leaguers. Minor leaguers today are making a whole lot more than when I was playing ball, again, because they're now tied to the union.
Oh, the union. Yeah,
correct. And the union went out and finally protected the minor leaguers. And I got, story of my life. I'm late to the party or something. I left the party early, I guess. So I didn't get the benefit of all that. But you have minor leaguers. It's not guaranteed money. You're not making crap compared to what the major leaguers are. Even if you're, for I can't remember the guy from the Padres who's in this situation, right? What his name is, he's not making a ton of money, but he's still making guaranteed. If you're in the big leagues, your money's guaranteed. Whether it's $700,000 to $1 million to $2 million to $3 million to $5 million to $8 million, you're still making guaranteed money. All right, so and I say, why are these guys gambling? Because it's a thrill. Isn't that what we heard from Michael Jordan all those years? Is that he didn't really give a damn about the money side. It was the thrill of it. That's what these. Again, you're adrenaline. You're an adrenaline junkie playing professional sports, and that's what you have, that heart rate, that competitiveness.
Well, I get why they're gambling. I'm saying I was trying to say, like, if you're not making that much money as a minor leaguer, and you're saying, well, shit, man, I can make a couple, you know what I mean? I could hit if I gamble and I got a little inside information on what's kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the point I was making.
I'm not risking it, but that's the thing. Again, the rules.
Jonathan Grishman's not, but a couple of these other guys may.
I'll tell you right. The rules. The risk. If you get caught, which you will get caught, you're done. You're banned from baseball for life. Like there's no ifs,
that's
ands,
what's
and
going to
buts
happen
about
to this poor kid or this guy.
And it is. So again, if you're making. He's a big leaguer too. He's not a triple A. He's not a minor league guy. He's in the big leagues. He's making some decent money compared, that's out there compared to the minor league guys. He's making guaranteed money. So what other reason is there to gamble on your career? That's what it is at the end of the day. You're not gambling on baseball. You're gambling on your career because you will get caught. He was doing this in 2023. It's June in 2024 now, and now they're figuring out, oh, hey, he was doing this. We have evidence of it. All right, great. Now we're going to go and ban him from the game. You're gambling on your career as doing this. If you want to gamble on the NFL, you want to gamble on the NBA, and you're doing it outside of the ballpark and outside of the clubhouse, who gives a crap? They tell us that. They told us that. You can gamble on the NFL all you want as long as you're not doing it inside the ballpark. And if you want to go ahead and do that, by all means. If you want to gamble your paycheck away, by all means, go do it. But you better not gamble on baseball. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no questions asked.
Man.
You are gambling on your career if you do such nonsense to it. And you may win. And if you have inside information and you win and you're making pretty good amount of money, that's great. But your career is done, and you will forever be associated with the likes of those who have been banished from the game for gambling.
Yeah. By the way,
no sex in the champagne room, Carlos.
I want to throw here that on 6 trackable states, 2022, the MLB, the U.S. handled in MLB bets 11.1 billion, and that was an increase of 70% from 2021. That's an insane number. Who knows what it is last year to this year as well? Like it's just there's just so many different bets out there. I get it. I get why you would want to bet on baseball, but if I'm a baseball player or anything that's associated with MLB, I ain't touching that because of what you're.
Yeah, that's us though. But people will, like Jonathan said, they're adrenaline junkies a little bit too. So why not? You know what I mean?
Man,
why you're willing to make that risk?
I just don't see it worth it.
It's not. Again, at the end of the day, it's not. And if you're, like I said, if you're a minor leaguer and you're trying to do something like that, I can get it because you're trying to find ways to make extra money. But again, the rules. It's in your books when your first day in spring training, and they give you your team book, the rules of regulations that Major League Baseball puts in place. It's in the book. and it's on the walls. It's in everywhere, every crevice in the clubhouse. You can't gamble on baseball games. And I'm sorry, these kids playing today know the history. They know who Pete Rose is. They know that, again, they probably don't know who Shoeless Joe Jackson and Eddie Seacott and all the 1916, 1917 Black Sox.
1918?
They probably don't know who. It was 1916, 1917 is when it really was. I think it was 17. But you can't. They probably don't know who that is, but they know who Pete Rose is, and they know the history of Pete Rose. And you can't. There's no excuse.
But think about like the NFL examples these last few years: Calvin Ridley, Jameson Williams. We could go prior to the NBA. I think there was an NBA guy that got banned as well.
Who's the guy from the Patriots? The guy from the Patriots got. And then you even got Deontay Porter from the.
Yeah, but it's like there's been examples of a person betting on their sport.
They're going to catch you. They're going to catch you.
Of course, they're going to catch you.
Well, here's why they're going to catch you. Because number one, those are corporations, and they're about their motherfucking money. Like, you know what I mean? So if they think somebody's cheating, they damn sure want their money. They damn sure going to get their money. You know what I mean? They're going to make sure.
Calvin Ridley used an alias.
So always want to win.
Calvin Ridley used an alias. He didn't even use his name, and they found him. Like you're
I mean, even the kids. There was kids in Iowa. The kids in college in Iowa, they were having mom or somebody use. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like there was a couple of.
And they ended up catching him because they were like, "Oh, well, that's kind of odd." All of a sudden, you go from $5 bets to a couple grand. I could consistently like something's wrong here, and you didn't win any, so like something's up.
Like I said, I don't get. I get it, but I don't get it because again, my career is invaluable to me, and I would not have gambled with my career and my reputation. On top of that, my name. And put myself in association with a black eye for the rest of my life, knowing that I will be in the history books for not the best reasons. I could not do it.
Yeah. Agreed. Jonathan, I want to ask you actually some softball questions.
Hold on to which since my boy Aiden McGinnis, we can ask about him. I'm glad he's listening. We can ask him about his Alabama baseball coach from 2023, who was fired for gambling on college baseball games. So Aiden, you want to come take shots at my LSU Tigers? At least our head coach doesn't do anything stupid.
Got him. Jonathan, Oklahoma softball women lost today for the first time in the tournament in 24 games. Florida to them. Can Florida carry that momentum to tomorrow's must-win game and pull out the upset?
The confidence boost that you did it on the biggest stage when Oklahoma had 20 straight wins in the 20 straight wins in the College World Series. They're very likely to do that. And I'll give Stephanie, and she's not here. My girlfriend Stephanie, she's not here right now, but and she's probably not listening. She picked it. She picked that Florida was going to beat them today. So it was a very again. She calls me and starts screaming. I said I did it. I said it was going to happen. So I'll give her credit. She's learned from me pretty well on her predictions, but. The boost that you got for that win today does carry over into the next day. Now, that's still a championship team. That's still the three-time defending champions.
Three times over, yeah. Three times over, yeah.
So, how much they're not going to sit back and dwell. Oklahoma's not softball's not going to sit back and dwell on the loss today. They've okay, we've done it. We've lost. 2 years ago, they lost to James Madison, and out of one of the biggest upsets in college softball World Series history, and they turn around and end up running the table the rest of the tournament. So they've been, and you have a senior laden group with Tiara Jennings and Jada Coleman. You have Kelly Maxwell in the circle for Oklahoma. They've been there and done it on the biggest stage numerous times.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be afraid of the moment tomorrow, but. For Florida, that today's win is a huge confidence boost. Like, hey, we did it once, we can do it again. So it's going to be a great great ball game tomorrow. I'm going to be watching it. I'm going to be excited to see that matchup and how they go, because I think you're talking about a instant classic already right out the gate tomorrow with that game. And I think a lot of people are going to want to see OU and Texas, because everybody thinks that Texas is the team that will dethrone Oklahoma. Florida may have some other plans, and I'm interested to see how that's going to turn out.
Yeah, Texas won 1-0 today, so they get the day off tomorrow. Supposed to play back doubleheader today, and then the rain pushed that back. Is that what I was catching on the broadcast?
Yeah, the weather's just been kind of crazy all over out here in Texas.
Why not just already have the games if necessary game for tomorrow? I don't understand. Like, is that normal?
So they changed. So what it used to be, because they had this a couple of years ago, where everything was kind of jam packed. They try to make sure they get as many games, like they have that third game tonight, and whatnot. But then they play the championship the next day. But the rain pushed everything back, and ESPN was in panic. ESPN was in panic because they tried to have to play that what if game at 11 o'clock at night. It was like 2 or 3 years ago. They played that what if game at 11 o'clock at night, got done at 2, and then have to turn around and play at 7 p.m. the next day, because they didn't have enough time with ESPN to schedule out, just in case weather does mess things up. So they gave they kind of pushed it to where they can have this what if day, where if there's 2 what if games, they have a whole day for it. If there's not, then you have a day off, and you play then you play on I guess as it would be Wednesday. You'd play the championship game starting there. So they kind of stretched it out as much as they can, had that extra day just in case weather doesn't cooperate, and you can have that what if game on that day if necessary, and then move from there. So it was planned out as such to change a little bit to where they can get a little bit more time, that ESPN is not in panic mode to get the games in, and you're not asking these kids to play at 11 p.m., get done at 2 or get done at 1:30, and then turn around the next day, have to play the championship series right after that. So it makes things a little bit more equally played out for the championship.
I think so, Carlos.
Okay.
That year, it's nuts, man. Love this time of year.
It is. I do. Right now, I got UConn and Oklahoma on the tube. In some what the hell is because I don't follow it like you do. So they're playing for some regional, then it's a super regional. What is that? So right now, is it like in high school terms, like districts, and then if they win, is that kind of?
So the tournament it's a field of 64. 4 teams for each region. So the top 16 teams in the country host the regions. The top 8 seeds are the top 8 national seeds. It's as far as going into the tournament. Top 16 holds the host, the regionals from there, and you have four teams at each region, 64 total teams from there. The winner of the regionals goes to the super regionals, which is essentially.
So that's like your Elite 8 Final Four.
The Sweet 16.
Like
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16 is because there's 8 teams that go to the College World Series. So you're essentially your Sweet 16, and then the winners it's a 3-game series at each super regional. The higher seed of the regionals host. So if you're a top 8, that's why being a top 8 national seed is so benefit, because if you win your region, you're automatically hosting your super regional. That's why actually it was so important for LSU. If they would have won tonight against North Carolina, being a 2 seed, and they're playing West Virginia, who was a 3 seed, LSU would have actually gotten to host the super regional next weekend, or this weekend. But you have the super regionals, like I said, it's the top 16 teams now. The Sweet 16 essentially of the college baseball tournament. Winner of each super regional goes to the College World Series starting next week in Omaha.
Yeah, it says starts June 14th in Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
gotcha.
The winner of this UConn-Oklahoma game, they advanced to the Elite 8. But is this single elimination up until the College World Series?
It's sweet. So going to the Sweet 16. So again, if the winner of the OU UConn, they go to the Super Regionals, the top 16 teams.
That's the Sweet 16. Okay, gotcha. This is like round 2, I guess. Is
So
it all
the
single elimination until we get to Omaha?
No, so the regionals is double elimination. So every level is double elimination. You have to lose 2 games.
Okay.
So the regionals, 2 losses, you're out. The winner of the regionals go to the super regionals. If you lose 2 games, you're done. It's a 3-game set in the super regionals against just because I know who North Carolina is playing. North Carolina and West Virginia are playing next week. They play a 3-game series at UNC. Whoever you win 2 out of 3, you go to the College World Series from there. So, and then College World Series, it's a double elimination tournament set up in there as well. So every level is a double elimination style tournament at each level.
Gotcha.
When we get to Omaha, is it double elimination? Like it doesn't matter if you lost before, right?
Correct. So
like,
it resets.
Okay. I know, like in the women's softball right now, like I was learning today because I was watching it, that they didn't reset. Florida they'd already lost Oklahoma. They lost earlier, and they had to win today.
They lost. So it did reset for the softball when they got to Oklahoma City.
Got to Omaha. I got you.
Florida did lose in Oklahoma City, and now they fought off elimination today against Oklahoma. If Oklahoma would have beat them again today, Florida's eliminated. Oklahoma goes to the championship. But it does every level at regionals, super regionals, and College World Series in the College World Series, your losses resets. So you win the first game in the regionals, you win the second, you're 2-0. You lose, kind of what UNC did against LSU. They went 2-0. They lost the 3rd game against LSU. They had to play today, winner take all game, and they win that. So now they go to the super regionals, and it's a clean slate. UNC versus West Virginia. Win 2 games, you go to the College World Series, and then from there it's the same. It's a double elimination style tournament, and you have a clean slate from there. And then if you run the table, if you lose 1 and you run the table to make it to the finals is a best of 3 no matter what. So even if you lose 1 game, you win. If you lose 1 game in the finals, you still have to win 2 games from there.
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay.
I think they need to dumb it down a little bit for us people who want to get into it, but it's hard.
I've been watching college baseball since I was 4 years old. I've been in this world again. I was privileged to watch the LSU teams of the 90s, in the Gorilla Ball team that was breaking home run records. You're talking about home run records in the 90s that will never be broken in today's game. I think that one of the LSU team that hit the most home runs, it was like 190 or 188 home runs in a season. 50 games. They played 53 or 54 games. They had 188 home runs, and that's a record that was 1996, 96 or 97. They did that again. They called it Gorilla Ball because all they did was just hit home runs. You talk about guys that were just massive guys that were just hitting balls that were 450 to 490 feet home runs, and it wasn't even fair how much power those teams did. So I got to watch some of the best hitting teams in college baseball history growing up at around LSU.
Were they part of steroids era as well?
No comment.
Jonathan, I gotta get you out of here on this last question. Thursday night we did our power rankings here on the LTS show, and my bro. And tell me we're living in an alternate universe, Jonathan, because I had the Cardinals as my number 10 team in my power rankings. And I'm St. Louis Cardinals. What kind of alternate universe is this? And tell Tanner and the rest of these are the 10th best team in all of baseball for the month of May, what they just produced.
It's a power rankings for the whole season.
Yes, you look at now, and I look at now and the whole season, and currently right now they're the 10th best team in all of baseball. So why am I defending the Cardinals? First of all, I'm the Cub fan.
I don't know. You brought it up again.
That's a better question I want to ask: is why is the Cub fan hyping up the Cardinals?
I don't know.
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
I did have some. when Alan, Scott, and I did our power rankings, last week. I did not have the Cardinals in my top 10. I didn't think they were worthy at the time of being a top 10 team yet. Now, if they keep playing like they're playing right now through the month of June.
Won 12 on Thursday. I don't know what they did over the weekend. They won 12 of the last 14, 8 of the last 10.
Well, that's fine. But again, when I do the rankings, it's the entire. I'm watching what they do the entire month, and I think there's 10 other. At the time last week, there was 10 other teams better than the St. Louis Cardinals. So that was where I looked at it and say they're not there yet. Again, they're 28 and 29. I get what their record. I guess I get what they've done in the recent times, and it's always what have you done for me lately. But record wise, what they are at overall, I'm not there yet with them. Again, the analytics say the same thing. The analytics say they're supposed to be 24 and 33. They're expected win-loss record, and they're 28 and 20. They're 28 and 29. So they're 4 games above what the analytics say they're supposed to be. That doesn't tell me they're a good team or anything like that. Just it tells me they have some good breaks and they've gotten wins that they probably shouldn't have gotten. And that's credit to them. But I'm not putting them in the top 10 because, again, I'll tell you mine. I had Braves, Giants, Mariners, Brewers, Royals, Orioles, Dodgers, Yankees, Guardians, Phillies. Tell me a team that they're better than. Tell me which one of the Cardinals are better than.
Who is your 10th team? Who is your 10th team?
I had dropped my Braves to 10.
Wow.
I put the Braves at 10 just because
a little bit. So
just because
who is your number 9 team then? Who is number 9?
I had the Giants.
Yeah, I think in a 7-game series, I'd take the Cardinals over the Giants right now.
But it's the same thing. They're 29 and 31.
The same, exactly. You just say they're the same.
41 differential to a minus 29.
Which here's the thing, though. Which here's the thing. At the time last week, from when we did this rankings on Wednesday to where we are today, the Giants have lost 4 in a row, whereas Cardinals were not on a hot streak like they are right now. So
they were. That's 8 out of the last 10.
It wasn't really the case at the last point last week on Wednesday.
On Thursday, that's when I looked. That's when I wrote them down as number 10.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it at that point.
That's your own fault. That's your own.
So I didn't see at that point as far as the Cardinals being that much better than the Giants. I just didn't. And if you ask me now, today, would I have the Giants in my top 10? Probably not, because Blake Snell's back on the IL, and that hurts. That's going to hurt them moving forward. So again, at the time last Wednesday, I had the Giants at number 9. Probably shouldn't have. I threw them in there. I have no belief still in the Cardinals because of who the manager is. At some point, I get they're talented. I get Paul Goldschmidt is still on the team. I get Nolan Arenado is still on the team. I get Sonny Gray is pitching for them, but I still have no trust in Ali Marmol to actually be a good manager for this team to do their job.
I want them to fall apart more than again. I don't know why I'm the one here defending the goddamn the damn Cardinals. I don't know why.
But I have my list right here. I had Braves 10, Giants 9, Mariners 8, Brewers 7, Royals 6, Orioles 5, Dodgers 4, Guardians. I had Guardians 3, Yankees 2, Phillies 1.
So we had the 1 and 2 match for sure.
Let me know I'm not I'm not biased. I am literally defending the team my entire life. So let it be known. No biases here.
Yeah, I said, I got to see a little bit more. I got to see a little bit more before I can say, okay, yeah, Cardinals are a threat right now. But
we got to get closer to that 0 differential mark, like just a little closer, not negative.
And real quick, Carlos, for the Braves being put at number 10, it was 2.1. Yes, the offense has been struggling at times, but it was a personal message to my Braves that I'm holding them. I said at the beginning of the year with you guys, I'm holding them accountable to be an elite team. And they haven't played like an elite team. They're still a top 10. They're still a top.
Still feel like
I'd put them at top
with Acuna.
Was that?
Is it world? Is it still world? Last question: is it World Series or bust still for the Braves without Acuna?
Absolutely, it doesn't change because you've done it before. You had to do it before, and you did succeed without Acuna winning a World Series. It doesn't change the mindset You still have Ozzy Albies, who was on that team in 2021. You have some younger guys. Austin Riley was on that team in 2021. Travis Darno was on that team in 2021. Max Free. So you have Charlie Morton. You have guys that were there that can understand how to right this ship and say, we did it once. It sucks, but we've done it before, and we're gonna have to make sure we do it again. So, and it's a matter of Alex Anthopoulos pulling the right move at the right time and bringing in some outfield help that you're going to need. Again, Duvall and Kelenic, they're serviceable outfielders. So you kind of already have your version of Jock Peterson. Duvall was traded into Atlanta in 2021. He was brought in at that point too. So he was one of the moves that was made to replace Acuna. But you have someone kind of like, that Jared Kelenic is kind of like a poor man's Jock Peterson. Is not as powerful as Jock, but he hits better. And so it's just a matter of now figuring out who the right guy is to plug in as a leadoff hitter, because I have zero confidence in Ozzy Albies being a leadoff hitter. I think that's just not his forte. Michael Harris is still a little immature to be a leadoff hitter. So you're going to have to find somebody to plug in and be a leadoff hitter for you to move forward and go from there. But you talk about a general manager who I have 100% confidence and trust in to make a move that makes this team better to replace Ronald Acuna. It's Alex Anthopoulos. Since he's already done it once, I think he'll do it again.
Hell yeah. Hey, Jonathan, the next time we talk to you, you'll be out in California. We wish you a safe flight for them to coach some boys up out there. So we appreciate you stopping by.
Go get it.
So.
Absolutely, guys. I appreciate it and looking forward to being out there and talking with you guys in Cali.
Hey, man, can't wait.
All right, we'll see you then. Give it up for everybody's favorite hitting coach, Jonathan Grisham, everybody.
Yeah. See you, dude.
Well, nice.
We survived the show, dude. We survived the show.
Here.
Last two standing.
We get up out of here. What you got going on the rest of the week?
We're editing some stuff here. Dropping a new episode on Friday for Basement Brew. No buffoons this week here. We'll go back next week. I want to tell you a story, though. I want to tell you a little bit about the intro, making it, okay? So, just for also the audience, since it's kind of fun. So, I was putting it in. I put some other music to it, and I was like, we're just going to make a couple cool intro, like a couple of things with the logo and call it good. And I'm like, no, let's make something cool. Let's put something cool in there. Because I had the Will Ferrell with you. So I was like, I'm going to go look for something. So I was like, let's start the show, like something like that. And then the first clip I come across, all I had to do was see the freaking thumbnail. I'm like, that's the one. So I click it, make sure it said it correctly. And I was like, all right, so wait. Now YouTube has these rules, right? So I had to go Google it up. I'm like, what's the soonest we can cuss in here before we get in trouble, right?
Yeah.
And it's 15 seconds. You have to get past 15 seconds. Well, I had 10 seconds in, right? I wasn't going to do nothing too quick, fancy. So I'm like, all right, now I got to add some extra clips in. So I added that, all the extra cool sports clips in there that we talk about on the show. And so it got to 30 seconds, 40 seconds, whatever it is, right? And with that ending as well, right? I make sure it was spot on, short as I could get it, but I want to make sure that it's ending there, bump the audio up. Now I'm like, all right, now I need another song because this song doesn't match with what we got going on. So I went looking through my playlist here, called Bum Bum. That's the name of the freaking song, Bum Bum. I clicked on it, had that really quick, crazy cocaine kind of beat, and I'm like, this is a Sam kind of song, man. I'm throwing this in. Threw that sucker in, matched up perfectly. Hit some, edit a little bit so I can hit some spots with like the cool light and where it kind of hits, and I was like, this is phenomenal. Let's freaking go. So yeah, that was kind of my story. Like it started being really, really simple, and I was built it out to what it was in the end. So it's kind of crazy the way creativeness, as you just kind of start doing stuff, takes over. And you're like, all right,
the juices get flowing. The juices flow, and
it does, man. And I was tired as hell, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. So that's kind of the story of how the intro came to be what it is.
It's awesome, and I appreciate you putting the new intro for my new show, for my show and the layouts. as well. I was a little nervous when you're like, hey, I gave a new intro because I really like my old intro. It's the same. And then when I saw the new intro, I was like, oh, this is even better because it's like the old intro, but just amped up.
Exactly. I threw on some filters, got the actual Ron Burgundy on there. And I'm like, because I recorded your stuff, right? So I recorded the intro and then I slapped it in extra, do the audio out. And I was like, wait a minute, we can do this, that, put some newer stuff in. I did put, some of your Bakken show in. And then it just like it was a minute. Yeah, sure. It's a minute long. My bad. But it was, I think it turned out phenomenally. So,
yeah, I really enjoyed it. Appreciate it. And all the stuff that you do. So, so again, yesterday we rolled out the new intro for the Bodkin show. I had Eric from Vegas Benchwarmers on. Please check that out. We talked all things we talked MMA. We talked Caitlin Clark. Good conversation there. So please check that out as well. And Wednesday night for a new head kicks and haymakers as well. Me and Will 302 post, and there's a little pay-per-view stuff. And we'll talk a little bit of boxing. So quick final thought, though, is just, again, give people their flowers while they're still here. Tell people you appreciate them and things that they do, like I just told Tanner. Because you just never know. People don't need to hear that stuff. Appreciate people. Let them know, hey, thank you for what you do for me and things like that. No matter who it is, whether it's your friend, your wife, your kids, people don't know. So, nonetheless, that's the show. We'll be back for a brand new LTS show, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern on Thursday. So, final start. We'll talk all NBA finals on Thursday and then some. So be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. Tanner, hit that outro. See you Thursday.
See you.
Thanks so much for joining us. And until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.